Steam Next Fest 2025 June edition is here. You can try a dozen demos from the upcoming game that will soon be released. With more than 2,000 games, it may be a little bit overwhelming to choose which game you want to try. So in this video, I picked 36 indie games worth you to try in this Steam Next Fest. It's a random list, so it's not based on rank. We start with Neon Abyss 2. It's a thrilling sequel to the acclaimed roguelike run and gun hit, building upon the chaotic charm of its predecessor with a vibrant cyber-infused aesthetic. In this demo, you can experience a variety of gameplay modes, a standard mode where you climb through a 5-floor challenge culminating in an exclusive boss encounter, and a time attack mode that pushes you through 6 floors with difficulty-scaled time limits. The game also supports online co-op for up to 4 players. Petaka is a 2D pixel art shooter-inspired sci-fi FPS that's channeling the retro flair of classic 90s shooters. Players engage in fast-paced action, wielding an impressive arsenal that ranges from fists and pistols to shotguns, machine guns, grenade launchers, and plasma rifles. The combat is further enriched by strategic mechanics like alternate firing modes and a unique fist barrage that rewards players with health and armor bonuses when used effectively against over 20 distinct enemy types, including pesky one-eyed aliens and drones. Whisper Mountain Outbreak is an isometric co-op multiplayer survival horror game. Players take on the role of agents from a secret government bureau, tasked with investigating and eliminating paranormal threats. To escape, they must explore abandoned buildings, fight monsters, scavenge resources, craft items, and solve puzzles while working together. The game features 6 unique classes, each offering different skills that influence gameplay, and players must balance combat, resource management, and puzzle solving to survive. Possessors is a fast-paced action side-scroller that plunges players into a quarantined city devastated by an interdimensional catastrophe. Players control Luca the host and Rem her less-than-cooperative counterpart as they navigate the ruins, uncover secrets, and battle surreal horrors. The game features tight, precise platforming, allowing players to balance ground and air attacks, execute combos and juggles, and face challenging enemies and bosses. Players can explore multiple paths and meet a cast of intriguing characters. Bloodrush Undying Wish is an extremely fast-paced hack-and-slash roguelike that's set in a gothic, undying world. Players must dash, shoot, and strike with ability combos, weaving between enemies in a fluid improvisational dance of destruction. The game emphasizes movement abilities and split-second decision-making, encouraging players to experiment with stylish attack chains. The story revolves around a world where death has vanished, and players must uncover the mystery behind its disappearance while battling relentless foes. Nested Lands is a multiplayer settlement-building RPG that's set in a dark, plague-ravaged medieval world. The game challenges players to gather survivors, build settlements, craft items, and manage resources while facing threats like twisted madmen, bandits, and harsh weather. Every decision impacts the fate of the village, making survival a strategic and immersive experience. Players can assign roles to villagers, construct upgradable buildings, and recruit new survivors to expand their community. Formula Legends is a retro-inspired racing game that takes players on a journey through Formula racing history. The game lets players race through different eras of motorsport history, from the 1960s to modern day, featuring legendary cars and reimagined circuits. The gameplay takes a top-down perspective, allowing players to have a clear view of the track, blending arcade-style racing with strategic elements. Players can experience dynamic weather conditions, pit stop strategies, and slipstream mechanics. MPPP, Multidimensional Paper Plane Project, is a fast-paced arcade game where players control a transforming paper plane that shifts across 7 unique dimensions. Each dimension introduces new mechanics, requiring players to adapt quickly and test their reflexes. The gameplay constantly shifts, requiring players to adapt quickly, test their reflexes, and survive as long as possible. Along the way, players can collect coins, complete feats, and compete for the highest score on the global leaderboard. Amio Memories in Orbit is a sci-fi Metroidvania that takes players on a journey through a mysterious decaying spaceship called the Vessel. The game blends hand-drawn aesthetics with watercolor backdrops, drawing inspiration from comics, anime, and paintings. The game follows Amio, a nimble robot who awakens alone in the ruins of the Vessel, a once thriving technological ark now overgrown with vegetation and rogue machines. The game features fluid movement mechanics, allowing players to grapple, glide, and cling to walls, unlocking new areas as they progress. Easy Delivery Company is a relaxing driving game set in a scenic mountain town plagued by inhospitable weather. The game places players in the role of a delivery driver navigating a scenic yet eerie mountain town. As you transport packages in your trusty K-Truck, you'll interact with quirky residents, uncover hidden secrets, and experience the town's strange atmosphere. The game features simple controls, retro graphics, and an open-world environment, allowing players to explore at their own pace while listening to chill beats. Moonlighter 2 is the highly anticipated sequel to the beloved action RPG roguelike Moonlighter. The game builds upon its predecessor's unique blend of dungeon crawling and shopkeeping. Players once again step into the shoes of Will, a merchant-turned-adventurer who finds himself stranded in the mysterious village of Trusna. To survive, he must explore perilous vaults, gather relics, and sell his findings to rebuild his shop and the town itself. The game introduces a new 3D art style, deeper combat mechanics, and an expanded economy system. Jetrunner is a high-speed parkour FPS set in a futuristic world where gravity is optional and style is everything. The game blends fluid movement mechanics with fast-paced shooting, creating an experience reminiscent of Titanfall and Trackmania. The game's stylized cel-shaded visuals and sci-fi setting create a vibrant, high-energy atmosphere. Players take on the role of Nina White, a rookie contender in the sport of jetrunning where they must wall run, vault, grapple, and blast through handcrafted arenas to climb the ranks. Okko The Exiled is a fast-paced action-adventure set in the demon-infested land of Kadala. The game follows Okko, a warrior who has been concealed for 1,000 years and is now ready to wield the mighty Fong. The game offers exploration, upgrades, and engaging dialogue with a colorful cast of characters. Players can trade goods, uncover secrets, and enhance Okko's abilities as they progress. The game includes focus mode, allowing players to consume heart energy to time attacks for extra damage and shield-breaking moves. Date Everything is a sandbox dating simulator that takes romance to a whole new level. Literally everything is dateable. The game lets players form relationships with household objects, from refrigerators to bookshelves, and even abstract concepts like existential dread. Players can choose to pursue romance, friendship, or rivalry with each object, unlocking different story paths. The game includes 4 hours of music, each character having their own theme, adding to the immersive experience. Escape from Duckov is a top-down looter shooter that puts a hilarious twist on the extraction shooter genre. The game follows a rogue militant duck navigating a chaotic, post-apocalyptic world. Players must loot for weapons, fight enemy aviants, and build bases to survive. The game features weapon customization, base-building mechanics, and tactical combat. The game offers a single-player experience where players must gather supplies, enhance their hideout, and improve combat skills. Ascent to Zero is a time-control roguelike where players wield the ability to freeze time to overcome enemies and challenges. The game takes place in a world on the brink of destruction. Players must anticipate attacks, freeze time, counter enemies, and experience dynamic action as they ascend through increasingly difficult levels. The game features permadeath mechanics, bullet hell combat, and RPG elements. The game challenges players to correct past mistakes and build a new future, all within 30-second time loops. No, I'm Not a Human is a psychological horror game that explores paranoia and survival in the end of times. The game places players in a world where mysterious entities, known as visitors, roam the streets and mimic humans, but never quite getting it right. Players must stay inside, lock their doors, and carefully decide who to let in, as some may be genuine survivors while others pose a deadly threat. Players must balance isolation with the need for allies, making each choice a matter of life and death. Hotel Barcelona is a 2.5D slasher film parody action game that follows Justine, a novice federal marshal possessed by the sinister serial killer Dr. Carnival. Trapped in a cursed hotel filled with evil serial killers, Justine must exterminate them and escape. The game features fast-paced combat, strategic movement, and a unique death and rebirth mechanic, where past versions of yourself, called Slasher Phantoms, replicate your previous runs and assist in battle. Holstin is a psychological survival horror game set in an eerie, isolated Polish town consumed by a mysterious presence. The game follows a protagonist searching for their missing friend, Bartek, who vanished in the decaying town of Jeziorn-Kolonia. Players must explore the festering streets, interrogate unstable locals, and fight grotesque monstrosities to uncover the truth. The game features dynamic camera perspectives, seamlessly shifting between isometric exploration and third-person combat. Sagas of Lumin is a single-player action RPG that lets players take control of dragonflight, seamlessly switching between aerial and ground combat. The game features melee weapons, magic spells, and firearms, allowing for fluid, high-stakes battles. Players can explore the vast Lumin universe, making choices that shape the world around them. The game blends dark fantasy, steampunk, and atmospheric exploration. Sagas of Lumin promises epic boss battles, diverse dragons, and flying ships, expanding the possibilities of aerial combat. Rue Valley is an isometric narrative RPG about a man trapped in a mysterious time loop. The game follows a man trapped in a mysterious time loop, navigating a small godforsaken town filled with complex characters, each hiding unexpected secrets. The game features a personality system, allowing players to craft their characters' traits, influencing dialogues and interactions. Choices matter, as players can become a cold-hearted loner or a melodramatic loudmouth. Players can experiment with different answers and timelines as the loop resets. Unbeatable is a hand-drawn rhythm adventure game set in a world where music is illegal and players must fight to reclaim it. The game follows Beat, a rebellious vocalist who leads a band against a fascist agency known as Harm. The story unfolds through branching conversations, quirky mini-games, and live performances. Players will experience anime-inspired combat, where they must battle to the beat, dodging and striking in sync with the music. Crimson Capes is a 2D pixel art action RPG that immerses players in a world of swordplay, sorcery, and high adventure. The game features fluid swordplay, allowing players to perform feints, thrusts, cuts, and spinning moves to defeat enemies. Combat is enhanced by magical abilities, where players can harness the winds, command thunder, raise flames, or call upon darkness. The game emphasizes brutal combat mechanics, where players can take the heads of opponents, bring them to their knees for finishing blows, or spill their insides out. Cast and Chill is a cozy idle fishing game where players explore serene lakes, rivers, and oceans at their own pace. The game lets players catch rare fish, upgrade gear, and reel in legendary catches, all with a loyal pup by their side. Players can choose between active mode, where they cast and reel in quickly, or passive mode, where they let time pass and return later to see their catches. The game supports single monitor and second monitor setups, allowing players to keep it running in the background while focusing on other tasks. Downhill is an action RPG where the protagonist is fully aware that the player is controlling her. As she embarks on a mission to save a revolution-torn realm from an unnatural disaster, players must navigate moral dilemmas, deciding whether to respect Fade's autonomy or impose their authority. The game features a morality-based level-up system, where players can choose between merciful or merciless actions. The game introduces a unique resurrection mechanic, allowing players to revive Fade infinitely. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is a fast-paced 2D action platformer that brings the classic Ninja Gaiden series back to its side-scrolling roots. The game follows Kenji Mozu, who must defend his village from a demonic invasion while Ryu Hayabusa is away. The game features fluid swordplay, wall climbing, and aerial combat, with hypercharge mechanics that allow players to instantly defeat enemies when used correctly. Kenji is joined by Komori, an assassin from the rival Black Spider clan, who provides ranged attacks and special abilities. KuloNiku Bowl Up is a high-energy comedic cooking game where players run a meatball restaurant. The game lets players cook wild orders, upgrade their restaurant, and compete in thrilling cooking battles. Players inherit their grandmother's legendary meatball shop and must restore its glory while facing fierce competition from Starstruck Diner. The game features immersive cooking mechanics, allowing players to chop, fry, boil, and grill with tactile controls. Eclipse 2 Invasion of Darkness is an isometric story-driven action RPG that blends Metroidvania exploration with modern hack-and-slash combat. Players take on the role of a medieval warrior whose family and village have been abducted by extraterrestrials. The game features a semi-open world, where locations become accessible as players progress through the story and unlock new abilities. Combat is skill-based, requiring players to strategically use acquired powers rather than relying solely on weapons or armor. Morbid Metal is a roguelite hack-and-slash action game that allows players to shapeshift between 4 unique characters in real time, each with distinct abilities and stylish attacks. Combat is fast-paced and combo-driven, encouraging players to chain moves seamlessly while battling hordes of deadly machines and powerful bosses. The demo introduces one biome and showcases the shapeshift combat system, allowing players to execute dodge counters, stylish combos, and seamless transformations. Town to City is a cozy city-building simulation game in the voxel art style. The game allows players to freely place and customize buildings, amenities, and natural elements to create a thriving community. Town to City features a truly gridless system, enabling organic town layouts with winding streets, plazas, and parks. Players can assign workers, research new structures, and expand their settlement, ensuring a balanced economy and happy citizens. Players can also beautify their town with decorations, lighting, and greenery. Pastopia is a third-person open-world adventure where coding is the key to unlocking the mysteries of a forgotten world. The game lets players take on the role of a memory walker, exploring the mystical lands of Talmanu alongside their golem AI companion. Players will solve puzzles, restore ancient ruins, and uncover lost memories, all while learning coding skills through Miniscript and Python. With AI-assisted coding guidance, players can learn and apply programming concepts naturally as they progress. Realms of Madness is a fantasy castle-building real-time strategy game where players construct medieval fortresses, recruit mythical creatures, and lead them into battle. The game features 3 distinct layers of combat: land, sea, and sky, allowing players to deploy soldiers, trolls, wizards, and siege weapons while commanding ships and subaquatic creatures. The game also features squad-based soldier formations, where units gain experience and grow stronger over time. Outrider Mako is a 2D top-down action game where players take on the role of Mako, a courier navigating the mystical Maoi world, a realm inhabited by gods. The game revolves around collecting sacred items, packaging them, and delivering them to divine clients. Mako works at the Buman Delivery Center, where she must gather seal stamps from the gods to fill her apprentice notebook and return home. Players must jump, dodge, and attack enemies, using divine blessing talismans to enhance their abilities. Scavland is a hardcore top-down pixel art survival RPG set in a post-apocalyptic Soviet-era wasteland. The game challenges players to scavenge for resources, take on risky jobs, and seek refuge in settlements. Players must explore ruins, bunkers, and mutant-infested forests, all while managing scarce supplies and avoiding ruthless enemies. The game features dynamic faction interactions, where choices influence alliances and rivalries. Players can trade, work, and uncover secrets, engaging with NPCs who provide quests and lore insights. RIFTSTROM is a co-op looter-shooter ARPG with roguelite elements. Players take on the role of weavers, elite operatives tasked with closing rifts and containing supernatural dangers. The game features procedurally generated missions, allowing players to deploy, loot, and repeat. RIFTSTROM offers team-based multiplayer, where up to 3 players can join forces to tackle mythic threats. The game's isometric perspective, twin-stick shooter mechanics, and supernatural themes. Burning Sword: Death's Sun is a wuxia hack-and-slash-action RPG. Players will engage in fluid, high-speed combat, wielding deadly sword techniques, palm strikes, and inner energy arts inspired by classic wuxia tales. The game features a skill tree system, allowing players to unlock combo techniques, chi-powered abilities, and forbidden secret skills that drain life from enemies to strengthen themselves. Players must train relentlessly, master their techniques, and face merciless martial artists in a world where there is no difficulty setting. So that is the video. Which game that catches your eye in this Steam Next Fest? Please let me know in the comment. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.